Hey, everybody, welcome to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson. Our new series this week is going to be called The Final Touch. We're going to talk about all of the things that you need to consider leading up into that time you're going to be stepping on the stage. The first today, Adam, let's talk about skin prep and tanning. And it's one of those things that I almost think, I kind of have my rote answer. I know what I'll tell people. But time after time after time, it seems like circumstances change and everybody needs almost a different nuanced answer. And I'll give you an example, at least on the tanning before we get into the skin prep. There's always the decision. Should I use some kind of a tanning service provided at the show? Should I be offsite? Should I do it myself? And man, like I said, it seems to be there is an answer you want to lean toward, but it may not be the right one time to time. But skin prep. For tanning, I'm sure you want to talk about things like skin pH, exfoliation, all of that for men, and maybe for women's, hair removal in in different capacities. So give me the lowdown when you say, okay, new client, you've never competed before. Here's everything you need to know about skin prep. What do you tell them?
Yeah. So, a lot of times people consider skin prep of what you're doing to the skin, but also it's what you're not doing. Hopefully at this point in time, a week out from the show, you're trying to stay out of the sun or anything that could possibly burn you or peel you. So if you're using tanning beds, I really recommend that you kind of take that out of your routine the final week. And if you do, definitely shorten the time in like half, just ensure you're not burning. So it kind of starts there, then definitely exfoliation. So you're getting the dead skin cells off, and then the tan has a fresh new skin to adhere to that's hopefully not peeling. And your skin should be smoother this way. A day or two out, you definitely want to shave or wax. You can wax earlier, obviously. You can wax within probably 4 days of the show and be okay. But I really recommend that you shave at least the day before you get your tan. So then you don't have those little micro scratches on the body that product might get into and cause some irritation, even though it's a low irritation formula. If you have open skin, it can definitely cause some issues. And then the other thing, like you said, balancing pH, and a trick that my clients and I have used is a little bit of Dawn dish soap with baking soda, and that tends to balance the pH of the skin. If anyone doesn't know what that means or looks like, if you've ever seen anyone with the Incredible Hulk tan where it's green, that's usually because of a pH issue. They're not necessarily trying to look green, but it just happens. So those are kind of the topics I wanted to cover really in short on this.
Mm-hmm. So I'm glad you mentioned even some of those really fine elements of exfoliation and not peeling, because you really want the tanning product to adhere to your skin evenly. So you're trying to have a trauma-free dermal layer, and then with the exfoliation, just keeping your skin, as you said, smoother and not having dead skin cells. But when you get into that shaving part, I will say that a lot of guys who may not be shaving on an ongoing basis, it's just like I look like a grizzly bear one day and now I'm going to be shaving for the show. I think that can be a mistake, right? Because your body's not used to that. You perhaps haven't gotten used to the shaving patterns, going with or against the hair follicles. Sometimes when you're starting from scratch, even on your arms that are pretty resilient, you're using clippers and so forth, but then, going from a pretty hairy skin layer, you're just kind of going over and over and over and over and trying to get your skin completely shaved, and that becomes very abrasive. So, do you recommend maybe, a month out, 2 months out? Like when would you say, man, you really need to get on this?
Yeah, I do usually recommend for a lot of my men about a month or two out. It seems like that's practiced less often with my men than women, obviously. And a lot of times it depends on how hairy someone is too, because if they have more hair follicle, they're definitely going to be under razor a little bit longer and probably have more irritation than other people. I had a guy who was nearly hairless, and I think we started about 4 weeks out or so with his shaving protocol, because he really virtually hardly had any hair to worry about. So I knew he would probably take to it pretty well.
Yeah, and two things I can think of too is, a lot of guys don't think of shaving everywhere. It's just okay, my chest, my forearms, legs, whatever. But even on your low back, you can have a lot of peach fuzz and stuff like that. And you just, if you don't do that, you're gonna look like you have a sponge back there of absorption for that skin dye. But the other thing is, if you let yourself get razor burn, if you're really irritated going to that skin, that tanning product, that's where you're going to have a lot of weird unevenness. The hair follicles themselves that are a little bit traumatized will soak in more of the dye, and that even becomes an irritant. So now it's getting even more inflamed. So,
Yep.
so really good points just to start, the process ahead of time. And I know we wanted to talk about tanning in this episode. I think we're gonna have to call an audible and save that for its own episode. This was really good information just on skin prep. So you guys stay tuned. We're going to go into episode 2 next, where we talk about the actual tanning process and all the options that you have.